Hey guys, my name's Necro and welcome back to the channel. Today we are joined by Ferrus from Server 3. He is the Marshal for EVL, Evil, which is the top alliance on the server.
Hi Necro, yeah, co-marshal, ready to do my theory crafting on all the heroes.
Yeah, Ferrus absolutely loves theory crafting, which is why he's here today. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through all of the different heroes. We're going to start with the rare, then the epic, and then the legendary heroes. We're going to talk about what's good, what's bad about them, how we kind of rate them. And then at the end of the second part, because it's going to be a two-part series, we will do a kind of like a wrap-up. So basically just talk about what heroes you should and shouldn't be using, what heroes you should focus on if you're a new player, or if you're a freemium or more experienced player that does like to spend a bit more money. So we'll go over that in the second part. But for this one, we're going to be starting off with the rare heroes. So these heroes are brilliant because everyone can get them. And some of them are actually surprisingly good. A lot of people like to use Ominaeus, for example, which is where we're going to start. So this guy increases your dreadnought attack and increases defense while defending, which is very, very strong. One of the few dreadnought-based heroes in the game, which makes him pretty good because we like our dreadnoughts. So his abilities are Suppressive Fire, which decreases enemy attack speed, increases the damage your army deals, which is very nice. We like this ability. And then Iron Will, which is just reduces the damage taken, but it's an RNG chance, which isn't so great. But this hero overall, I think he's pretty good. I like him as a defensive hero. What do you think?
Yeah, he's a solid hero. All of the rare heroes are worth leveling up due to these gathering abilities. Even if they had nothing else, they'd still be good just for that. Yeah. But he also has this fairly unique increase the defense of absolutely everyone when he's defending your fort. And for a rare, that's actually very, very good. He really holds his own.
Yeah, just having two good combat buffs is very good for a hero.
It's Suppressive Fire still, which I like. I want to like these speed skills more, but at the moment they're a bit overshadowed by some of the better skills, which we'll discuss later. But Absolutely. Keep an eye on these guys that buff and debuff speed. I think they could get a bit stronger later in the game.
Yeah, either if they buff them or if they nerf some of the other ones, I think these could start to do very well. I think I do strongly think that these will become better as the heroes that have them get to a higher point and they start to make more of an impact with the higher percentages. I do think that they will start to do that, but only time will tell as to whether that will go that way. So next up, we're going to talk about Solaris. Now, Solaris is a pretty cool hero that buffs Primaris with attack. Unfortunately, he only has one combat buff, which is that he just increases that amount of collecting speed, and then marching speed weighs a point if it's the Master Logisticum. So he's not great, but as a free hero that increases primary squad attack, he will be useful early. And increasing collecting speed is really good at farming. Like all four of these rare heroes do that, and it's really useful.
Yeah, I'd say if you're a Primaris player, a lot of us are, then he still kind of has a role because, Cordus, who we'll talk about later, and Solaris go together really well, and they're completely free. But his skills are rather lackluster.
Yeah, for sure. Tactical Expert 1, so just increases the damage deals, damage reduction, and then just increasing crit damage. Overall, they're not bad, but unfortunately, because he's rare, they just really don't do much, unfortunately. So we'll go on to Nartelian. We'll go on to Alvinius now, which is a very cool one. I love this guy. He's holding a rocket launcher. But he increases metal collecting speed, whirlwind attack, and march speed versus neutrals. So again, just the one combat buff, but it is for whirlwinds. A lot of people do like their whirlwinds.
Yeah, he actually sees a lot of use due to this whirlwind attack.
Yeah, I rate whirlwinds a lot more now with the release of Lysander, which we're covering in another video. But yes, I'm still kind of on the fence about them. So yeah, he's got Iron Will, which when the army takes damage, there's a 30% chance to reduce half of the damage, which is actually pretty good. Zealous Assault, so when he attacks, again, 30% chance to increase the damage. And then he has just a crit chance increase, which overall, those abilities aren't great. Those skills are not great. So,
yeah, he's like you can.
Yeah.
If you want to have a strong PvE march with whirlwinds, he fits in there. Maybe when you're defending other people's bases in chaos attack. But yeah, he's not got a lot of utility in PvP in the current meta.
Yeah. Although he's very easy to get because he's rare, a lot of the epic heroes that we're going to be covering later are almost as easy to get hold of, and they just do a lot more for you. But it's always good just to farm all the heroes you can, because when you get to the point where you have 5 marches and you're sending out so many marches, you need almost every hero possible to try and maximize what you can get from them. So we're going to go on to Praetes now. So he increases credit. Sorry?
Poor Praetes.
Praetes. Yeah. Increases Predator defense, which is probably one of the most useless abilities in the game. He increases plasma collecting speed, which is good, and then just increases all collecting speed when he's appointed as the Master Requisitor, which is actually pretty good.
The problem is it sounds good, but you've almost certainly got 3 heroes who could increase it more than this guy, even with his bonus.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, relegated to being a plasma collector.
No, exactly. And his abilities just aren't worth talking about. They're literally just pretty bad. So we're going to go...
Someone's got to be bottom of the pile.
Yeah. We're going to
off this guy.
Yeah, bless him. He's trying. So we're going to talk about Dreamers next. This guy is actually pretty cool. I'm a big fan of him. He's fairly easy to start farming now from Void Whales, which is good. So you can start to get a lot of his shards up. He increases Vanguard Veteran attack, and he increases Defender's health when he's appointed as the Chief Apothecary, which is brilliant. Like, that's a really, really good ability to have.
Yeah. Combat abilities that work from when you post them in the Administratum building are huge. If someone does that, then they're a good hero. It doesn't matter what else they do.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. Just the ability to be, it's almost like you're adding an extra hero to a march almost by having them there, especially at a high level. There's a few others that do this, and they're all very brilliant for that purpose. And increasing healing speed when appointed is not ideal. It's not a particularly great ability, but it's essentially you're never really sending him out like as an aggressive attacker. So having 2 points is actually not as bad as people think. I do quite like it. And Vanguard Veteran attack is useful in a lot of situations, especially when you start stacking with Shrike and Sicarius and a few of the others that also buff Vanguard Veterans. So his abilities, which increase the attack speed by 26%, he has Iron Will again, which is when the army takes damage, it's a percentage chance to reduce it, and he just removes buffs. So, like I said, you're probably not sending him on many marches, but
I'm not very sold on Combat Medic. It's just not impactful enough compared to other skills. So he's probably got no place in PvP marches. But once again, PvE, if you want to send a Vanguard march out, this is actually a good hero.
Absolutely. So next up, we're going to go to Taiko. Taiko's pretty good. I like this guy a lot. When I first released my hero guide right back in, I want to say March, I think it was, when I did the written guide, I rated Taiko very highly because I think this guy is just very good with increases HP while attacking. It's very, very good for an epic.
And increases army size limit is good for an epic hero.
Yeah. He increases it by 420. I think someone had a fun time in the office with that one. But then we've also got our army gains 26% damage reduction, which is pretty good just because it's flat. There's no RNG involved. When you send this guy, you take 26% less damage when you've got him max. And like I said, he's pretty available to get from Breach, which I'll explain in a moment. So you can get him up pretty high, which is good. He then gets a flat 26% damage increase at max level as well. So again, working with damage reduction, he's got teeth. When you send him, he's got teeth. And then decreases the enemy army's attack speed by 26%, which, again, we're not 100% sold on, but he's already got a lot of good abilities, so I like him a lot. What do you think about him, Ferrus?
Yeah, if you look at his skills, he doesn't look like top tier, and he's not top tier, but due to the fact that you can get him to 7-star just with a bit of patience, completely free to play, and he increases your army size more than any other epic hero, he's well worth having. He'll really be an asset.
Absolutely. So next up, we have Aleister. This hero is really cool, and I love this model. When GW released this, a friend of mine at Mohawk Miniatures on Instagram a very close friend of mine, he actually did a really nice conversion for a Greylight model for me from the Primaris chaplain that was absolutely beautiful. But yeah, slightly sidetracked. I love this guy's model. So he increased. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, lore-wise, yeah, big part of the new Primaris.
Yeah, very cool. So increases Vanguard veteran HP by a very good percent. So again, epic heroes are obviously better than rare, so get a good chunk of Vanguard veteran HP. It's not the best one, unfortunately, but it is a combat buff. So increases march speed versus neutrals. It's very good for farming. Very, very good for farming fleets. So in my night rework video, I was talking about the fact that you can just send one unit to go and farm. If you put aleister as your hero, you can farm faster on at least one of those, which is quite useful. And then increases hospital capacity when being appointed as the Reclusiarch, which is it's actually surprisingly helpful when you get this guy to max. Like, hospital capacity is one of the most important things you can have in this game, especially if you're on a server where there's a lot of fighting. And so that ability,
you will never regret having more hospital capacity. Just get it wherever.
Exactly. Yeah, free hospital capacity. We love it. Now, he has some interesting abilities. So the first one is Zealous Assault, which isn't great. Then Suppressive Bombardment, again, not ideal. But then he has Bolter Discipline, which he's the only guy that's got it.
It's a completely unique ability.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So after taking damage, our army rebounds a percentage of the damage taken, with max being 26%. So you can send this guy with just a massive army of T1s, and whatever damage your opponent does to those T1s, 26% of that is going back at them, which is absurd. Like, you just basically get to kill stuff for free, which I think is brilliant.
The important thing is this is unavoidable damage that he deals. Yes, you have to take some damage to cause it, but here's a good insurance policy.
Yeah.
If some really huge player comes and sticks his full march of T8 Primaris on you, you could be in trouble. But this guy means there's a maximum amount of damage you can take, and in certain circumstances, and I'm speaking from experience here, you'll be very grateful for that.
Yeah. So when you get him leveled up, get him in defending your base, and if you get attacked, he's going to do a lot.
The other thing about aleister is actually his active ability is very good in Breach Assault. Like, the maximum possible damage you can deal is generally going to go with 2 legendary heroes and aleister buffing their damage with Prayer of Vengeance. So good PvE ability as well.
So next up we have Salier. So this guy's pretty good, just really, really good Dreadnought buff. So he's got Dreadnought attack, Dreadnought HP, and increases reinforcement marching speed, which isn't great. And then he's got Tactical Expert, Suppressive Bombardment, and Zealous Assault. Unfortunately, he's not very good at getting to a high level, which is a shame because he has some really nice Dreadnought buffs. But if you can start to get him up towards sort of 6 and 7, he becomes really, really, really good. And we're going to go on to the next 2 big guys that they're probably the best 2 epic heroes in the game, which is Cordus and Vex. So we're going to talk about Vex first.
The star epic heroes.
Yeah, these guys are absolutely brilliant. So Vex increases Vanguard Veteran Defense, which is useful when you send out some marches, which you will do with this guy. Increases reinforcement marching speed by a very large percent, which is really good at defending allies when they get attacked. It just helps you get to them faster. And then this is a shining characteristic, is increases defenders' attack when being appointed as Master Logisticon. This is such a good ability. It just flat out just increases your defender's attack, which is, we love this. He's got Suppressive Bombardment, Tactical Expert 2, and Combat Intuition, which is the best ability in the game, which is when our army takes damage, there is a percentage chance to dodge the damage. This ability is fantastic. They've already nerfed it in half, and I think it's still the best ability out there at the moment.
Yeah, that's how strong it is. Because in case you don't know, the effect of dodge is to waste a unit's complete attack if they try to hit you and you dodge. That's it. All their damage has effectively been dismissed. That's huge.
Yeah, this guy's really easy to get shards for as well. So you can get him for free and you can farm him very, very well, which makes him really good. So next, we're going to talk about Sicario, which I forgot. We did Vex first. But Sicario has Whirlwind HP and Whirlwind Attack. He's one of the few that buffs Whirlwinds, which is good. So he has Tactical Expert, he has Indomitable Defense and Precision Strike. And he also increases your research speed when he's appointed, but let's just forget about that one. Earthshaker round's a bit of a weird one as well, because it reduces speed of your opponents, which, doesn't really do anything in Expedition, so it's pretty useless other than it's an AoE.
He's never quite come into his own as a really good hero, and he's not easy to level up. But if you like Whirlwinds, then you've got to take him because you haven't got any choice.
Yeah, you have to. So
I'm hopeful that later they'll make this stuff about crit chance and increase crit damage.
I wish they wouldn't. Just because I don't like RNG. I really don't like RNG. I feel like we already have too much of it. And crit is basically just RNG. I think it has a place in the Expedition and like the PvE side of it, but I think in PvP it's a bit too all over the place. But let's talk about Cordus. This guy, best epic unit in the game. This guy's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So he increases your primary squad attack and defense. It's a pretty tasty buff on the attack. It's really, really good. And then he increases your marching speed when he's appointed, which, it's free. We don't really have to send him out for that.
I try to keep him in that slot all the time because it's just a great passive ability to have.
Yeah, it just saves you a bit of time. And we all love saving some time on things. So, tactical
Cordus.
Yeah, we love Cordus.
He was the best free-to-play before, Runica and Cordus were the best free-to-play before the skills, then he got a massive buff when he got his skills.
Yeah, got a huge buff here. So, Tactical Expert increases our damage the army deals, which is good, especially when you're already buffing your primary squad attack. Primaris is arguably the best unit in the game after Dreadnoughts. Just huge amounts of damage, so buffing the damage your entire army deals plus Primaris attack, absolutely fantastic. Then he has the dodge ability as well. And because Cordus you can farm him really easily, he's fantastic because you can max this skill really quickly. I have him maxed on my main account. He is absolutely fantastic. This ability is really, really good. And then he has a ability that increases the army's crit damage, which when you're already twinning with Primaris, when they do crit, they just do an absurd amount of damage. They are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, for me, the combination of dodge and increased Primaris attack, and he's completely free to level up to maximum easily through intel events, just make him the best epic.
He's just an absolute must-have. Guy is an absolute unit. Big fan of him. So in the next part, we are going to cover all of the legendary heroes, and then we're going to talk about which heroes you should be farming and which heroes you should kind of put in your defensive and aggressive lineups. So thank you all for watching. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Please leave a comment as well. It's really good to get feedback from you guys and answer some of your questions. I'm sure some of you will have questions about what we've covered today. I love to answer them.